Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the channel. What's this? As you can see, as I told you guys, I'm traveling. So there's people in the background. You can't see them, but they're saying hi. Yeah, they're all saying hi. But today we'll be talking about the Champions League. We'll be talking about the Champions League round of 16. Champions League round of 16 is all commenced, and it means we'll be going to the quarterfinals. And of course, today we had a lot of fixtures, a lot of goals today. But if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning member, welcome back. And of course, if you have any thoughts, put them down in the comment section down below. Road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But first place we're going to begin. Today we're just going to talk about the Barcelona game. Didn't catch the Atletico Madrid game. Don't care about the Bayern Munich game. And who else played today? I think it was... Who's the other team that played today? Liverpool. Also, Liverpool kind of went through. I'll touch a little bit about them, but we'll start off with Barcelona. And as I've told you guys many times on this channel, being a Barcelona fan that I am, I will be candid with you guys. I will be very honest. This team is not a serious team. Now, when I say that, I don't mean it in the sense of we're not a serious team, like a team like Chelsea isn't that good, or a team like Manchester United is inconsistent, or something like that. But more in the case of this team is one of the best teams in world football, but in terms of winning the Champions League, I don't see this team winning the Champions League. When you see the way that this team defends in certain moments of games, I just don't see it. In the long term, against the best teams in world football, I think they'll really make you to pay. But before we get into the negatives, of course, the game started off feisty, energetic, back and forth, 2-2 in the first half, or 3-2 in the first half before Yamal scores that penalty at the end of the first half. And Newcastle were in the game. Alanga scores 2 goals. And this is my problem with Barcelona. When you play that high line, Lewis Hall, who in my opinion was incredible throughout the 2 legs, kept Yamal to a minimum. Even though in this game I thought Yamal was pretty good. Wasn't his best game, but he was at a pretty good level. And then, of course, Newcastle bring the game back to 2-2. Barcelona continue to, come back wave after wave after wave. Continuous pressure, continuous chance creation. Yamal missing that open goal. Lewandowski looking hopeless in the first half. I was really happy to see him score those 2 goals in the second half. We know that Lewandowski is getting to that age where he's no longer going to give you that 90-minute performance, but if he can give you goals in big moments, I think that's all you really want from him. Fermin Lopez bringing so much energy, creating that chance that led to the should have been a red card for Kieran Trippier, that led to the penalty. And in the first half, Barcelona in the attacking areas were incredible. We've said this many times before. This team can create chances. This team can score goals. This team can dismantle many teams in Europe. But defensively, ladies and gentlemen, I could get 2 of you watching this video and we could form a front 3 and we could score goals against Barcelona. It is genuinely that bad in the defensive areas of the field. The high line, I keep on begging and I keep on hoping that Hansi Flick will push this defensive line a little bit farther back. I'm not even saying set up a deep block, but just maybe not the halfway line. But that's the way we're going to play. And it does mean that Barcelona will score a lot of goals going forward. And in the second half, that's exactly what they did. Scoring, 4 goals in the second half, taking the game away from Newcastle in that opening 10-15 minutes. Fermin Lopez scoring a goal. Brilliant goal in behind. Lovely movement between him and Lewandowski, interchanging. Rafinha finding him in behind. And we criticized Rafinha in the last game or in the last leg. But these last 2 games, 4 goals now or 5 goals for Rafinha. 2 good performances back-to-back, and you're hoping that he can keep these levels going. I thought today Pedri wasn't at his best level, and I keep on saying this. Frankie de Jong is a huge factor in this Barcelona team and how far we're going to go in the Champions League. I think Frankie de Jong, as much criticism as he comes under, I think this guy's one of our best players. And I think when he's in the midfield, you can allow Pedri to breathe a little because he doesn't have to be the one who takes on the mantle of being the midfield enforcer every single game. Even though I think Marc Bernal is a good player and he is developing, Frankie de Jong is just a level above. But as I said, Barcelona were really good today. I thought Lamine Yamal, first half, struggled a little bit, but had moments of brilliance. A lot of the moments of brilliance you saw from Yamal today for me were in the central areas, and really prongs the question that I said in a later video or in a previous video. Lamine Yamal in those central areas, I feel like that's the main place that he should be playing in the future. Of course, on the wings, he's a threat. He can cause problems. But I look at the way that Lewis Hall was able to bomb forward time after time after time, especially against one like Araujo, who had to come on for Eric Garcia. And I'll be honest with you guys, when Ronald Araujo was coming on and it was 2-2, I was shivering. I was genuinely scared. I was so scared that we would lose this game because Ronald Araujo and Joao Cancelo as our fullbacks, 2 players who were the prime reasons that we were knocked out of the Champions League in the last 2 seasons, I thought that was going to spell danger for Barcelona. But As I said, Lewis Hall and I think it was Harvey Barnes on that left side bombing at Araujo 2v1 time after time after time. I don't think that's sustainable, especially when you're playing the much better teams in the Champions League. And we talked about all the good things that Barcelona did, but guys, in the big knockout games against the best teams, and now Barcelona are going to go on and play Atletico Madrid. And for some reason, Barcelona are playing the first leg at home, even though we finished higher than Atletico Madrid. But apparently, Atletico Madrid are getting Tottenham's seed. I don't really know where this rule came from. But nevertheless, if you do that sort of thing against better teams, you will be punished. And we saw it in the Copa del Rey against Atletico Madrid. Barcelona were poor in those opening 35 minutes, and they were 4-0 down. So, yes, you can play this attacking style of play. Yes, you can be flamboyant. You can be adventurous going forward. But if your defense is not able to sustain in those moments of high pressure, your attack is not always going to be able to bring you back, especially when the attack has not been clicking as much as it has this season, or as it was in comparison to last season. But we can look past it, right? We beat Newcastle, you move on. But against the better teams, I'm looking at Paris Saint-Germain, who beat Chelsea, 8-3 on aggregate, or 8-2 on aggregate. If you played those opening 25 minutes the way you played against Newcastle, you will be 4-1 down. And you can talk about, Lamine Yamal this, Rafinha that. You're not coming back from 4-1 down against Paris Saint-Germain. You're not. Bayern Munich, Arsenal's. It's not going to happen. And I think that's where my standard is with this team. And you have to give credit to Hansi Flick, because before he came, the standards were in the dustbin. But now the standards are at an all-time high that he can win La Liga this season. I think we will win La Liga this season. But if you don't win the Champions League, people will look at you funny. I don't think they should look at him funny, because I don't think he's being backed enough. You look at some of the teams in the Champions League this season. Man City getting knocked out. Newcastle getting knocked out. Who else got knocked? Chelsea getting knocked out. Look how much money these teams have spent. And I think Hansi Flick in 2 years at the club has spent 75 million euros, compared to Chelsea, who spent about 500 million. Man City have spent God knows how much. And yet Barcelona are still competing with these sides. Even Newcastle themselves have spent 75 million alone on Voltemada. Not to even mention the money they spent on Elanga, Livermento, Lewis Hall. So you have to give credit to Hansi Flick, but at the same time, a fool is only somebody who continues to do the same thing and it keeps on failing. And you keep on doing it. So please, I just hope Hansi Flick can change things, because at the highest level, this won't fly. Quick one on the Liverpool-Galatasaray game. I thoroughly expected Liverpool to win this game. Galatasaray, I really don't understand how this team can play at such an elite level at home and then play genuinely awful football away from home. It's like two completely different sides. We've seen this in the past. We've seen teams who are much better at home and they kind of struggle away from home. But for a team to go from the level they did in that first half, or in that first leg against Liverpool and the first leg against Juventus and even the league phase games, and then play the way they do away from home. At home, they genuinely look like a team that can challenge any team in European football. And away from home, they look like a relegation side. Genuinely look like they can't build up. They can't control the ball. They can't create chances. They can't create sustained periods of pressure. They can't withstand pressure. They just look lost out there. Osimhen gets taken off in the first half after an injury. You hope or wish all the best to him. But I keep on saying, Victor Osimhen is much better than this football club. And I pray that somebody buys this guy, because he's too good to be playing in the Turkish league at the age that he's at. But Liverpool comfortably go into the next round. Arne Slot can breathe a sigh of relief, because genuinely, if they'd gone knocked out tonight, my brother, you can pack your bags and go. They would have sacked him tonight, because that would have been your season over. And now they play against Paris Saint-Germain. I genuinely believe Paris Saint-Germain might put 7 goals past them, but we have to wait and see. The Champions League quarterfinals is here. Real Madrid will face off against Bayern Munich. As I told you guys, Real Madrid were never going to lose that tie. Bayern Munich comfortably threw 10 goals past Atalanta. Atletico Madrid will face Barcelona, and Arsenal will play Sporting. So it'll be very interesting to see how those ties pan out. Those games are in about 3 weeks' time. Thank you guys so much for the support on the video on the Pep Guardiola video. As I said, I'm not at home right now, so the video uploads are going to be kind of all over the place, but I appreciate you for stopping. I appreciate you for watching the vid. Let me know all your comments down in the comment section down below. What did you think about the Barca performance? Am I being too harsh on my own team? I think I'm pretty harsh on my team. I'm pretty pessimistic about Barcelona. Am I being harsh? Sorry, I muted myself there. Am I being harsh on Barcelona? Let me know down in the comment section. I feel like I'm pretty pessimistic about Barcelona in general. What did you think about the Liverpool win? What did you make of Atletico Madrid making it to the next round? And what do you think is going to happen in the quarterfinals? But thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.